Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment, where we love pop culture. Today, it's time for another Married with Children episode review. Oh, the library. Many kids in the future may never know what it was like to walk into a giant building filled with tons of books, really just limitless amounts of knowledge to be had, and all for free. But what happens when you check out one of these free books and you don't return it? Well, Al Bundy is definitely going to find out as I get on with my episode review of He Thought He Could from Season 3, Episode 1. Now, Peg's mother is coming for a visit, and Steve is helping Al clear out some boxes in the attic so that Peg's mom will have a place to stay. Now, while they start going through these boxes, a lot of it is filled with mementos from Al's youth, like old football trophies. But one thing in these boxes that doesn't belong to him is a 31-year-old overdue library book of The Little Engine That Could. Now, Marcy and Steve are going to be very insistent that Al return the book that he originally checked out back in 1957, but Al, he's definitely going to have his reservations, and the main one is because of the old librarian that used to send shivers down his spine, and that's Mr. Groot. Now we're going to get a flashback of young Al Bundy. Now, I'm not sure how many kids they auditioned for this role, but the casting here is absolutely perfect. Not only in the looks department, but how this youngster delivers his lines to Mr. Groot while he's checking out that library book. Now, Mr. Groot is going to let Al check out the book, The Little Engine That Could, all in the hopes that he might actually learn something, although she definitely has her reservations. Now, the one stipulation to checking out this book is that he has 3 days to read this book and bring it back. And if he doesn't, well, she's going to be sitting there waiting for him until she does. Now, as Al is leaving the library, he tells one of his buddies, he actually makes a promise that one day he's going to take all that sugar that she spoons in her coffee and he's gonna pour it down her gas tank. Now, in order to get Al to go to the library, Steve tried to reassure Al that nobody who had that much sugar surely could be alive 30 years later. But when Al shows back up at the library, not only is Mr. Groot still working there, but she's ready to collect on the over $2,100 that Al owes for that library book. Now, at first, Al's going to try to negotiate, but Mr. Groot, she's very content on collecting that overdue library book fee. And that's when Al is going to insist that he did bring that book back. It just happened to be on the one day that Mr. Groot wasn't working. And to prove his point, well, let's just say Al, he's going to get very pushy. Now, and what I believe is one of the funniest moments in Married with Children history is when Al returns home and he tells his family that everything is a-okay, that it's all been squared away. Well, that is until a news report comes on showing Al's crime, providing even more embarrassment not only for his family, but for Steve and Marcy as well. Now, not being able to deal with the shame that his family is enduring, such as wanting to not only change their name, but also wearing their bags over their heads in public, Al decides he's gonna go ahead and pay the fine, even though it's gonna break them. Now, when Al comes back to pay his fine, well, this is going to be a major victory for Mr. Groot. So much so that she decided that this is actually going to be her last day at work and she's ready to retire. But it's also going to be a victory for Al because that promise that he made about putting sugar in a gas tank, well, he's going to keep it. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving the episode He Thought He Could a 10 out of 10, as I believe this is just such a classic episode of Married with Children. Now, one of my favorite lines here in this episode is after the news footage is shown of Al stealing the book. Well, he's become known as the Freddy Krueger of the library. Plus, we're going to also see a kid attempting to steal a book, and that's when his friend is going to tell him, hey, don't Bundy that book. Now, what are your thoughts of the episode He Thought He Could? Comment down below. And what episodes of Married with Children would you like to see me review here on the channel? Now, I am dropping one of these new episode reviews every Sunday at 9 p.m., the regular time slot that Married with Children originally aired in. So make sure you guys come back to Toned In Entertainment every Sunday at 9 o'clock for a new episode review. All right, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. We got lots of fun stuff going on here. and make sure you stay tuned in here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.